Hello, this is Cynthia of Mountain Accents. Coming to you on a rainy day here in the Carolinas. Bringing you my August makes and what's on my cutting table. And talk to you about a challenge for the month of September. So I'll start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a purple Tabitha t-shirt that came, it's from the Make It Simple, Chili the Buttons Make It Simple book. And this is the one and only Tabitha Tee that I've made so far. I made it a few months ago. And I've decided to wear it today in support of Michelle Sews Again's challenge for the month of September. Sew Purple to End ALZ 22. She is doing this challenge in memory of her father who died from Alzheimer's. I personally have a grandmother who passed away from Alzheimer's, and it is a devastating disease, and it's very hard. It's been very, very difficult on the family. She died, I guess now it's been 7 or 8 years ago. But it was very hard for my mom and all of her brothers and sisters and my grandfather, and it's very challenging, and there is more research needed. And so this is a great challenge to support Alzheimer's. I am also hoping to sew something else that's purple to enter into this challenge in support of Michelle Sews Again, or I think her Instagram may be the real Michelle Sews Again. Her YouTube is Michelle Sews Again, and that is hashtag Sew Purple to End ALZ 22. And you can also do your works in progress by hashtag Sew Purple to End ALZ 22 WIP. So what else have I made in August? Let's see. I made another make from the Chili and Buttons Make It Simple book. I decided to try the Safiya Trousers. And I know the last time I'd asked for input on what size I should make, because I kind of fell between a 5 and a 6. And what I ended up doing is I just trimmed the outside line, kind of graded between the two sizes, so that it's like, I guess, a 5.5 instead of a 6. And I'm trying to find it in the book. I should have marked it. Okay, I think I'm close. Yeah. This is the Safiya Trousers. And it's pretty straightforward. You have your two front legs, two back legs, and it's got a little bit of a flat front and elastic in the back. So it's very easy construction. And I made my pair out of some viscose that I got from Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door. I don't have any pictures in this yet. The weather's just not been cooperating for me to go outside and take some photos, but it's this beautiful leaf print viscose. The only thing is they're kind of see-through, so I have to be very careful about probably wearing nude or white underwear, because yeah, I'd be self-conscious about that. The fit is really good. The only thing that I guess I don't like is that I do have a belly. When you have kids, sometimes your belly just doesn't shrink back like it used to be. Not that mine's ever been super flat to begin with, but so there's not a lot of support here in the front, so I feel like that my belly still pooches. I know I've made the Pietra shorts before, and it has a little bit longer facing that I feel like gives more support in that area. So I'm not sure if I'll make these again, but I think I might maybe follow the construction of the waistband on these the next time I do the Pietra pants to see if it works a little bit better, because I had trouble with the elastic part of the Pietra shorts. So I had some scrap of this left, and I managed to squeeze, and I mean squeeze, out another Ogden Cami, and I did manage to get a little bit wider strap, and I raised it a little bit so that they'd be a little shorter. I've not tried it on though to see how it fits, and I added a back seam. And I think I even had to flip-flop the fabric, but I'm going to just wear this around the house probably. Or if I wear it out, I'll probably wear it under a black little camisole sweater. Yeah, so nobody would see this anyway. And then on the inside, it doesn't really matter, but I did have to create, I think I created a seam on the back only in order to eke it out of my scraps. I mean, I barely had any of this fabric left. It was like the tiniest piece ever. So anyway, so I was happy that I didn't have any fabric waste with that project. So, and for the Ogden Cami, it's the True Bias Ogden Cami. Very simple construction with the pretty much the back and the front almost look identical, and you have a facing that goes across in the front. Then my next make is my favorite make. It may be my favorite make ever, and it's a combination of the pattern and the fabric. I just think this fabric was the perfect choice for this pattern. So what pattern did I make? It is New Look 6434. And it's an easy pattern, and I made, let's see, I made view A right here. I would love to make view D, but I think if I make view D, I would like to get some fabric that has maybe a scalloped edge or some kind of pretty edge that you could use for that detail on the sleeve and at the waist. So this pattern is constructed with you have a seam at the back, and you have a little split and a button. It uses bias binding, and I used self bias binding, which I can do it. I don't like it, but I can do it. I did buy one of those little bias binder things, and it, let's see, it calls for 1/2 inch wide single fold bias tape. So I had 2 bias makers. One makes the 1/2 inch, and one makes, I don't know if it's a 3/4 inch or inch wide. I think it's 3/4 inch. And I debated on whether to make the wider, because I would find the wider easier to work with, because I haven't done a lot of bias binding. However, I followed the pattern instructions, and I made my own bias binding. And I wasn't happy with the first I made. I think it's usable, but my seams where I joined them seemed a little thick. So I redid it, cut another strips and sewed it, and it worked. So let's talk about this fabric. So I made it out of this gorgeous, gorgeous elephant print blue and white fabric, and I don't remember if this is cotton viscose blend or a linen viscose blend. I need to find out. I should have looked on the Andrea's website, Beyond the Pink Door. I found it there, but I first saw this fabric when Adele with Sew for Serenity purchased this fabric, and I can't remember where she purchased it from, but she showed it, and I was just like drooling. So yeah, I love elephants, I love blue, and I was like, oh, I want that fabric, I want that fabric, and I thought, well, I'd never find it. And then when Andrea showed it on her live one Sunday, when I checked the website, all that was left was, I think, 1.5 meters remnant, and that's what I bought and I made this out of, and I absolutely love, 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 love it. And I do have a picture, but I'm going to try to get a better picture to either, if I don't post it here, I'll post it over on Instagram or and Facebook. But this is definitely it's a fairly easy make, and it just fits so well. And the only thing that I think it's meant to be a little boxy, but I think I could possibly go down a size and it still fit. If I don't, I may take in the shoulder seam like ever so slightly. I mean, it sits pretty close to my shoulder, and I've never done a shoulder adjustment. But when I first sewed it up, one sleeve it fit really good, and the other sleeve felt a little weird, and so when I inspected it, I had a little pucker, and I just had to take my seam ripper and rip out a little section, and I smoothed it out and restitched it, and it fits really well. But yeah, I could live in this, and yeah, I want more. I want more of this fabric, or similar fabric. Yeah. So, what is on my works in progress? Let's see. I haven't made any progress on my Atelier Jupe Tilda shirt dress. I still haven't gotten my Singer Quantum Stylus machine back from the repairman. He did call me, and I've not had the machine for very long, and I know he was frustrated because I was having trouble with the Singer company as far as customer service, getting help. But he reassured me that he can fix it, and he is hopefully going to get it to me this month, because he said take him about a month before he'd have it ready for me, and it's been about, I guess, 3 weeks now since I've talked to him. So hopefully I'll have it back in a week or two, and that's when I'll probably start working on that dress again. But also that's one of my slow projects, and I have another slow project that I'm going to start, and let me show you that pattern if I can remember where I put it. It is the Mimi G S8845. It's a jean jacket, and one of the reasons I picked this pattern is because it has a sew along with Mimi G, and I thought, well, with it being my first time ever making a jean jacket, it would be nice to have that sew along to help me through the progress. And so it comes in an extra small to an extra large, and I first was going to cut out a medium, but then I took my measurements wearing clothes, and I decided with I want it to be a little bit not too snug over close, so I decided to cut out a large, and I'm still working on it. That's what I've been doing this morning. I've been cutting some of the pattern pieces. One nice thing about her pattern is that it has some of them that are specific pieces for the size you're cutting, and then there is some that I will have to trace, and that's to the stage that I got to. I've got to go trace some of the pattern pieces, and I decided to take a break and film this instead because I needed a break, because I have been very busy this morning. Let me show you what else I've been working on. So, I also cut out, this is my, I guess the top of my list, what I'm going to make in September. I definitely want to get this done in September. And it is the Friday Pattern Company Wilder dress. And I am going to do the short length, and mainly because of fabric requirements. And I'm going to hack it just a little bit, and I'll explain what I'm going to do. But I'm going to first show you the fabric. Anyone remember this fabric from the last Think Pink Sewscription Box? And this is my scraps. This is how much I've got left, and it's just some small pieces, but I can use it for maybe pocket lining and some other things. But I've managed to squeeze out, let's see, I've cut out my bodice pieces, and I did the short sleeve, and I made the tie. I cut out the tie for the neck, but I also decided to cut out tie pieces for the waistband. I cannot remember her name. It's So Natural Dane. I cannot remember her first name right now, but she has a YouTube channel, and she's in Texas, I believe. But I saw her make a version of this where she added waistband ties, and it was gorgeous. And I can't remember if she did the first tier, and I can't remember if she added another ruffle or short tier on the bottom, but I did cut out 3 panels, and they're pretty narrow because of the fabric. I only had like 4.5 inches wide, and I cut out 3 to do a bottom tier with that. But I'm going to first add the first tier, and then decide if I need that to get the length that I want on me, because I'd like it to hit either right above the knee or just below the knee. And so I'm thinking I might add that other tier, which will look more, I guess, like a little ruffle on the bottom of that. So that's my main goal for this month, is to finish that. And then I have, oh, and I forgot to show you this. The jean fabric that I ordered, was it last month, month before last? That was for that jean jacket. And I remembered that that's what I bought it for. So I've still got to cut it out once I get finished tracing all those pattern pieces. And let me tell you, there's a lot of pattern pieces. So I'm going to be at it for a little while. And then the next project I'm working on, and this is for well, I'll wear them, but it's going to be for a mock-up to see if the size is right. I printed out the PDF pattern. This is the Friday Pattern Company sport shorts, and it's got the, and here I am, I hate bias binding, and this has a lot of bias binding, but now this bias binding is done a little bit different, and I'll explain that. Let me see if I can find the line drawing. Well, this tells you a little bit more. But the bias binding on it, when you make it, you wrap it around both sides of your fabric. I'm going to pretend like this is the fabric. And you wrap it around both sides of your fabric, and then you sew it down. So you're not sewing it on one side and then folding it over and sewing it on the other. You're wrapping it around and sewing it down. So that'll be an interesting new technique for me to learn. And I hunted through my scraps, and this is what I came up with. I'm using this, it's quilt and cotton fabric for the main body of the shorts. And then it did recommend using a lighter weight fabric from your bias binding, and I found this paisley cotton lawn fabric. And so I've already cut out all my pattern pieces with that, and you use this for the binding, for the bias binding, as well as for the waistband. And then the waist also has a drawstring. So yeah, and if that works out well, I'm wanting to I'm thinking about trying the sport shorts and the Helen's Closet Gilbert top, which I'm going to do a mock-up of it first, because I've never made that top. I've got it ordered from the fold line, and I haven't received it yet, because I didn't want to print it out and tape it all together. So I ordered the A0. So anyway, I'm thinking about the seersucker that was in the recent Think Pink Sewscription Box number 7. Yeah, I'm hoping that I can squeeze out the Helen's Closet Gilbert top and these sport shorts. And I'll just have to come up with binding either in blue or green. I don't have that fabric handy to show you, but probably watch some of the unboxings. I have an unboxing video and some of the others with the blue. I have the blue and green colorway, so I either go with a green binding or a blue binding for the sports shorts. And I have a few other things that I'm toying around with, and I have fabric picked out for my purple, so purple challenge, but I haven't picked the pattern yet, so I'll talk more about that later. And I think that wraps it up for me today. Have a great day wherever you're at. Thank you.